Robert Taylor is with us, the journalist and political commentator. Here's a story, Robert, and another one to make your teeth itch. The Imperial War Museum splashing out 100,000 quid on bringing diversity into historic exhibits. Britain's leading military museum has asked equality and inclusion specialists to give some of its exhibits a woke rebrand. They want to give their audiences an awareness of the global impacts of war. The equality strategy contract will also cover inclusivity training courses for staff. This is the museum, of course, that's been forced to apologise for attacking Winston Churchill. I just wonder with all of this, Robert, whether some of these people have just got too much time on their hands.
Yeah, it makes your heart sink, doesn't it, when you hear this kind of story. The Imperial War Museum is funded largely by the taxpayer, so all of us are paying for this stuff. And the other thing is, why was the Imperial War Museum founded? It was founded originally in 1917 to record the civil military war effort and sacrifice of the UK during World War I. It then, of course, expanded its remit to take on World War II. So what's that got to do with our 21st century attitude towards diversity? Your guess is as good as mine.
And I don't know whether some of these institutions just believe that they have to be seen to do this kind of stuff. Nobody but a fool would look back at the history of either this country or many other countries and say, you know, once upon a time, there wasn't a lot of diversity. We all know things could be still so much better in some areas as well. Were people pretty nasty to each other back in the day, 100 years ago? Darn right they were. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't pleasant right across the... Nobody is disputing that. But the idea, the kind of almost irredeemable thirst that some of these places have to want to shout from the rafters just how self-flagellating they can be about horrors of the past or things that don't look as they wish them to look, etc. This seems to be sort of slightly in that category.
And I wonder whether the bosses of the Imperial War Museum are scared of being attacked around the dinner table by some of their woke progressive friends for not being woke enough. Why they come out with a sort of word soup. So apparently on the Imperial War Museum equality policy, there's a statement that says, we will continue to engage with audiences through conversations that ask difficult questions, facilitate debate, and encourage exploration. In other words, something that means absolutely nothing to anyone, but it's all about saying to the woke brigade out there, don't touch us, we're really on your side.
Yeah, I think so. Strange times again. And this one, the IT failure, of course, from last Friday now. It hasn't gone away. There are still lots of areas, NHS, airports, a huge knock-on effect on this one as well. Although at the weekend, I did notice that George Kurtz, who's the CEO of CrowdStrike, that's the company behind this, has actually apologised. He did this on American television. Let's have a listen.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to chat with you first on air. And I want to start with saying we're deeply sorry for the impact that we've caused to customers, to travelers, to anyone affected by this, including our companies. So we know what the issue is. We're resolving and have resolved the issue now. It's recovering systems that are out there.
Yeah, there you go. He's very sorry, Robert. It didn't mean to happen. Sorry about that. I don't know how many hundreds of millions of pounds this whole thing would have cost across the globe. Many, I would imagine.
Yeah, well, I'm glad he has apologised. I think in these circumstances, the first thing you've got to do is apologise genuinely and then act swiftly. So I think he's done the right thing. Yeah. But it does just show how desperately reliant we are on something called CrowdStrike, which I reckon none of us had actually heard of before Friday, but it now seems the function of the world depends on this company, and if it goes wrong, everything goes wrong. We are extremely reliant on bits of software that if they go wrong, everything grounds to a halt.
And that's the problem, isn't it? It's the house of cards falls. And while we marvel at the incredible international synergy of systems, isn't it incredible that I press that button here and somebody in Australia, somebody in the United States gets my message, gets my booking, edits the copy, sends it back, all of this all marvellous stuff, but of course that kind of malarkey goes wrong, Robert, and, you know, we're all toast, and I think that's what we got a taste of on Friday.
And even things like GP appointments in the UK, people having trouble getting GP appointments because it's all digital medicine now.
Yeah.
Now, digital medicine has huge advantages for people. It streamlines things, it makes things more efficient, but you've got to be ready for it to go wrong, because when it does go wrong, we're back to paper and pen.
Indeed. Robert, listen, always good to get your views on these things. Thank you to Robert Taylor. He's back with us very soon on Talk.